Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Go Ballistic. We'll have Kris Boyd's verdict on the Old Firm match yesterday in a few minutes' time, actually joining us from the golf course. But Roger, before we get to that, your opinion on the big derby match yesterday. Was it a case of Rangers going rampant or were Celtic subpar?
I think they need to be a bit of everything. Rangers were much improved. That's now 3 successive Old Firm derbies. They've scored 3 goals against Celtic. It's the first time they've done it since 2001. So going forward, they knew they could do something. They get a perfect start. I mean, I don't think Celtic were out their own half before Rangers were 1-up when Raskin scored. And Raskin sort of dictated the play. Celtic missed Callum McGregor in that middle of the park. Raskin dominated, get the flick for Diamandi's goal for 2-0. Celtic did well to come back in the second half. You always expected they would come back. It was always probably likely to be Maida who would kick-start it. He did well, had Tati get a goal. At that point, Ryan, you thought there was only going to be one winner, but I think it just exposed a sort of soft centre for Celtic. They allowed, just a routine Route 1 clearance from Burton to cause chaos. A fantastic finish from Egerman. And listen, on a day when Rangers fans were back in Celtic Park, Barry Ferguson's first derby as manager, first away win in 5 years.
Yeah, you touched on it there. When it went to 2-2, I think most people on the ground, perhaps even the 2,400 Rangers fans in there, thought we could only see this going one way. Was that perhaps because no Greg Taylor as well, no Callum McGregor? Celtic maybe missed the players that have got proper experience in this fixture. They've experienced what it's like to be behind, come back.
Yeah, I know. I think they missed McGregor. McGregor can dictate the play. He plays forward. He moves forward. I thought a lot of the time when Engels sat in that number 6 role, his distribution was sideways or backwards. He was going back to Carter Vickers or Nawrocki. Nawrocki, the best of the Celtic back four yesterday, without a shadow of a doubt.
Which says a lot.
I thought he played well, but too many big players didn't perform. Nicholas Kuhn, again, was poor, hooked at half-time. Engels didn't take his chance in that number 6 role. Guys like Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alistair Johnson, not the greatest game. Even Kasper Schmeichel looked edgy at times.
Distribution in particular
Yeah,
as
he
well.
got away with one with the Václav Černý chance in the first half. So a lot of Celtic's individuals were below par, and a lot of the Rangers players stepped up and just took advantage.
So one man who did step up, Egerman, coming on, only given 7 minutes, but he makes his impact.
Yeah.
And Barry Ferguson had some quite interesting comments after it where he sort of explained why Egerman hasn't been started a lot of late. He says he's been disappointed and he clearly has some work still to do in the eyes of Barry Ferguson.
And I've said a couple of times, Ryan, I think Egerman, and you could mention Clinton and Ciala, who came on for a few minutes at the end, and also Jeffrey. This is their first season of their professional career playing at a level like this. Ciala had been playing youth football in Milan. Egerman had been playing down the leagues in Morocco. Jeffrey had a few games in Cyprus. They haven't experienced the intensity of this for a full season. And I thought the three of them needed left out the team. Ciala came out the team after a poor performance at Kilmarnock. Egerman, I think that was his first goal in about a dozen games, I think. Jeffrey out for family reasons yesterday. Hope everything's okay. But on the pitch, I didn't think he was missed because his performances have gone down. So you understand what Barry Ferguson says when he talks about these guys needing a break.
So Kris Boyd's coming soon. The other big derby of the weekend, obviously, Dundee derby, 6 goals at Tannadice. Simon Murray having the last laugh too. What was your take on that game? Because Dundee, actually, they really needed that 3 points.
They did. It was a really terrific game of football. Simon Murray is huge for Dundee. I know he only got the goal at the end with a penalty when he was fouled. Jordan McGee got a couple earlier on, was terrific. Josh Mulligan, terrific again. But Simon Murray, if Dundee are going to stay up, he's going to be the guy who drags them up. I think he got hit by a vape just before half-time. But he had the final say, and you wonder if that could be a turning point in Dundee's season, and also what a game it's going to be after an international break. Dundee against Rangers live on the Saturday night.
Absolutely. Now, Kris Boyd's on his way to the first tee at Turnberry, no less, but you will hear from him talking about Rangers Celtic yesterday. Now, another former Rangers player who has made some headlines overnight, Rino Gattuso. Don't know if you've seen this, Roger. Hot-headed as a player. Well, he's had a bit of a go at one of the pundits over in Croatia. He's leading Hajduk Split on their first proper title charge for about 20 years, aiming to end that drought. But this is what it was like, just this crazy scene live on air and a full-on argument with another former player, telling him that he speaks very bad and he doesn't want to talk to him anymore. So I can't imagine that relationship's going to end well. So just before you hear from Kris Boyd, we've got some great stuff on the Scottish Sun's YouTube page. So Derek McGregor's latest one-on-one is with Brian Graham. Good win at the weekend for Partick Thistle against United. And we've also got Jose Katongo speaking to David Oliver as part of one of our recent big interviews. Here's a little selection of what they are.
The other one I need to give a mention to as well was Neil Lennon at Hibs.
He's had one season with Neil at Hibs.
I had one season with him. He never played me a lot. He never played me a lot, but
aye.
And I always remember one game we were playing Dunfermline away. I had a chance to make it 2-0. I missed it. He was up the other end. Louis Stevenson tripped somebody up and they got a penalty. We draw the game 1 each. So he comes in and I'm like, he starts going through me for not scoring the goal, right? I'm like, I've not give a penalty, mate. What are you shouting at me for? So I had a wee bit to and fro in me. And then
in front of the players?
In front of the players. The two of us were at each other in the changing room. And then in the Monday morning, Gary Parker's like me, you better go and speak to the manager and apologise. So I went to go in his office and he went, he swore at me, right? She's like, get. So I'm like, no, I'm coming in. So I just goes in and then he just changes and he didn't mind that I had a bit of passion. He gets me back on side. I walk out feeling 10 feet tall.
Really?
I walk out of that office on the Monday. I was nearly swore there, sorry. I was scared. I was scared walking into the office, and then by the time I walked out, I felt 10 feet tall. I was like, run for a brick wall for this guy. He was just, his man management was unbelievable. He was brilliant. He really inspired us that year to go and win the league. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have done it.
Well, we can head straight to Turnberry this morning. SunSport's Kris Boyd playing in the Kilmarnock FC Golf Day. Now, I don't know whether the big boss man is there today, Boydie, but Rangers certainly trumped Celtic yesterday.
They did. That was actually not too bad for you. First thing in the Monday morning there, Rodgers. Yeah, they did. I mean, I thought they were fantastic, especially the first half. Started really, really well. Got to say, I feared the worst. I thought I did go a little bit early at half-time. But when Celtic got it back to 2, I did feel the worst, but fair play to Rangers. Because I thought after, when Celtic got it to 2, I mean, it wasn't Celtic-like as such, because I thought they started to force the issue and try and make things happen that became impatient, and take nothing away from Rangers. I thought the winning goal was, you can look at it from a Celtic point of view and say it was poor defending, but what a strike it is.
A terrific strike. I saw your pre-match interview with Barry Ferguson on Sky Sports. He wouldn't tell you what he was going to say in the dressing room before kick-off time. What do you think he said before the game? What do you think he said to the players after the game?
Well, I think when you look at the way that Rangers went and pressed Celtic, and I think they've tried to do it in the past, but not been able to do it, whether it's been a fitness issue or, Celtic have had that edge. But I thought yesterday the game plan was spot on, especially the first half in terms of the way that Rangers pressed Celtic, stopped them playing, and he would have been delighted. I mean, he's asked his players to show that bit of character, and he definitely got that yesterday. I thought two-a-man Rangers were excellent, and Nico Raskin, I mean, I know obviously Barry playing in that midfield role, but Nico Raskin I thought was excellent as well, along with Conor Barron, who for me complimented Raskin really well, mopped up when Raskin tried to get forward, and obviously scored the first one. He had a massive part in the second one as well, Raskin. It was a really good afternoon for the wee man.
Now, what did that do for Barry Ferguson's long-term job prospects? Andrew Kavanagh was there, Greta Steinson for the 49ers Enterprises was there. Will that have an impact on whether or not Barry could get the job, or is it still a long way from that decision?
I mean, I think if they were a long way, they're not as far away as what they were before the game. Because, you couldn't help but be impressed with that yesterday. In such a short period of time, being able to get Rangers to go and get into information and work the way they did to get the result at Celtic Park. I mean, history tells you it's not an easy place to go, is it? I mean, 5 years since the last victory there, so to be able to turn it around, and I know there's people out there, Celtic are 13 points clear, there's no edge, trust me. I mean, that is the biggest load of rubbish when it comes to an Old Firm game. Celtic were really quiet yesterday. The fans, as soon as they got it back to 2-2, they were up for it singing, and it mattered something then all of a sudden they lose the third one, and it becomes irrelevant again. So, for Barry, I mean, the thing, he was brought in to get Rangers through at the end of the season, and he's obviously going to do that. And it does look as if there has been an upturn in the positivity around the building, shall we say, the performances, albeit it's Rangers are on a run right now where you win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So there has to be more, and Barry will know this. It's all well get yourself up for the big games, but there has to be more against the rest, because at the end of the day, that's why you are so far behind Celtic. They have to find that consistency between now and the end of the season, and you never know. You never know. I think it would be unlikely, but you never know.
People were saying Celtic missed Callum McGregor, potentially Paulo Bernardo from that midfield area as well. They didn't have either Austin Trusty or Liam Scales at the back. Looking at it from Celtic's perspective, that's the last 3 Old Firm games. They've lost 3 goals to Rangers in each
9 goals,
occasion.
yeah.
First time it's happened in 24 years, I think, Boyd. Will Brendan Rodgers, now it could be a treble winning Brendan Rodgers again, but will he look at these games and think he could maybe do with reinforcements in the summer?
100%. You only need to look at Celtic bench yesterday. I thought it was really weak. Brendan, I think, has spoken about getting strength and depth into the... more strength and depth into the building. And yesterday will strengthen his case for that. Look, Celtic are heavy favourites to lift another treble, which he would say would be a fantastic season for them again. And there's no getting away from it. But Brendan Rodgers is a perfectionist, and he will be hurting for the goals that he's lost against Rangers. Albeit you can look at the bigger picture and he can play the game and say what he needs to say. He obviously had a little pop at Barry and his tactics yesterday during the week before the match, in terms of he hadn't seen really much different. Well, he definitely seen something different yesterday, that's for sure. But the goals that Celtic have lost, as you say, that's 9 now in the last three games, albeit the cup final Celtic won. But, I mean, a lot of people probably looked at it and thought it's at Ibrox and, Rangers were more up for it that day. But going to Celtic Park and scoring 3 goals when they've only conceded 3 goals in the league all season there would be a worry.
Yeah, Brendan said before the game on Friday he couldn't see much of a difference between the inconsistency of Clement's Rangers and the inconsistency of Ferguson's Rangers. I know you're golfing down there that Kelly golf day today with SunSport's own Robert Grieve.
Yeah.
If he's claiming a 24 handicap, don't have it, Boydie. But his match report today, he said there is a big difference between Clement's Rangers and Ferguson's Rangers. What is that difference?
Well, I think there was an organisation yesterday that the players had full belief in what their manager was telling them. I've said it before. I think when the Philip Clement era was coming to an end, it was, for me anyway, it looked as if there was a disconnect from the players to the manager and the manager to the player. There was a lack of trust. I didn't see that yesterday. And I've not seen it now obviously, the Kilmarnock game, you go back, Motherwell, I think it's very difficult to correct everything straight away. But you look at the performances that Barry's managed to get in Istanbul, even at home against Fenerbahce. I know the game ends up 2-0. Rangers started the game really well on Thursday night, albeit great finish for Szymanski just before half-time. And then the game changes and it does become a little bit scrappy from a Rangers point of view. But there has been an improvement in the performances. There seems more togetherness. It seems as if he's asked for leaders to step up. John Souttar definitely has. You feel as if Leon Balogun coming back in as well has helped Rangers. Nico Raskin, Cyril Dessers as well. I thought, even yesterday as well, led the line superbly. Cherny's been, doing really well. And there's been others in there. The captain as well, James Tavernier, I thought he's playing like as if someone's got belief in him again. Yeah. So, I think that... sorry?
I was going to say, from a Celtic perspective on the other side though, would Brendan expect more? I know these young men, it's not the price tag's nothing to do with them, but £11 million Arnie Engels, £9 million Adam Ida. Would Brendan expect more from those 2 players in such a big fixture?
100%. I thought that when you look at Celtic in terms of their players that have performed really well in this fixture, Alistair Johnston, I thought he was really poor yesterday, struggled.
Carter Vickers,
I didn't, usually strolls the majority of these games. He was toiling, there's no doubt about it. But in that midfield area, I touched on it before the game, Celtic's forward players, usually they're the ones who get the credit because of the way they finish games off, but they get full control from the midfield. That's the difference. That allows the forwards to do what they do. So Rangers, I thought yesterday, especially the first half, dominated in there. Second half, Celtic kind of got it off a little bit and started playing between the lines, and Rangers struggled to deal with that. But there's no doubt Brendan Rodgers has been looking for more. Nicholas Kuhn as well. I mean, what's happened to him? I mean, he was on fire at the start of the season. Now you look at it and it just looks like a total different player.
Now, Boyd, I know you're rushing to tee off there today. How's the golf? How have you been playing?
I'm just about to tee off right now, so I can maybe report back in later on and let you know.
I'd love to hear how you do. I'd love to hear how Robert Grieve does.
We might set up something. I might set up something for later. Let you know how we got on. I can't see us being anywhere in the mix. To be fair, I've not played since October. But just before we go, interestingly enough, you know, Celtic fans were turning up for a party yesterday. I thought, Roger. I thought they were turning up for a party. I heard them singing "Oh Barry, Barry." It's at Murn a couple of weeks ago. They must have forgot the words yesterday. Enjoy your golf.
Take care, Boydie. Good luck.
Bye-bye.